everyone, Namaste, welcome back to my channel. This is Amisha Singh Chauhan and a little self-promotion over here. If you're new here and you're looking for something fun, dark and mysterious, then you're at the right place. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that every time I'm here, then you'll get to know about it. Another thing to be mentioned over here is that I recently hit 600 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. It means literally a lot. I know you might hear this from a lot of people, but literally I'm really happy. This channel has given me so much. It's like an anchor right now in my life. So it means a lot. Each one of you're watching over here, it means a lot. So yes. So today's video, like you can read from the title, we will be talking about the youngest confirmed mother in the entire world. Now before I begin with the case, a small question for the ones who do not know the age of the youngest mother. Just take a wild guess, any number which you think could be the age of the youngest mother in the world, and drop down that age in the comment section. Actually, even the ones who know the age right now, just comment down the number which you thought was the age of the youngest mother in the world before you got to know about the real age. Now let's talk about Lina Medina de Hurtado. I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Lina Medina was born on 23rd of September 1933 and she was a healthy baby, very perfect. She was born to Tiburella Medina, who was a silversmith in a very small town in Ticrapo, Castrovirreyna province of Peru, and her mother was a homemaker. Her name was Victoria Locia. Now, Lina Medina had 8 other siblings, so in her family there were total 9 kids, and she came from a humble background. Now, what happened is that when Lina Medina was roughly between 4.5 to 5 years of age, she started complaining of stomach aches, and her parents noticed that she had this small bump on her stomach. So initially, they just thought, like any other kids, it's a possibility that Lina had some digestion issues or maybe some stomach bug. So they tried various home remedies. Now it is said that the home remedies did not really work, so they eventually went to a local shaman. Now in various cultures, people tend to believe and have more faith in shamans than medical science. Medical science is like a secondary option which comes much later. I'm not saying that this is true, but it happens in a lot of places. So it is said now, I don't know how much of this is true, but it is said that they went to a shaman and the shaman could not make out what was wrong with Lina Medina. So when Lina was 5 years old, her stomach had swollen to such an extent that the parents knew that they had to take her to a doctor, because if they wouldn't have, then they felt like it could be fatal. So they took her to Pisco at a small clinic which was run by Dr. Gerardo Lozada. Now this doctor plays a very important role in Lina's life. So when Dr. Gerardo saw Lina, his initial analysis was that it could be a tumor or a cancer. But on to further investigation, while he ran all his tests and scans, by the way, we are talking about 1930s, so biotechnology was not that advanced. But still, Dr. Gerardo used all his instruments on her, and it was concluded that it was nothing as fatal as cancer or a tumor. But at the same time, it was very serious because now we had a 5-year-old girl who was 7 months pregnant. Yes, you got me right. She was 5 years old when she was 7 months pregnant. So technically, she conceived this baby. She got impregnated when she was probably 4.5 years of age. Now, after this, obviously, the parents were not expecting something like this. I mean, if Lina would have been a teenager, then the reaction would have been completely different over here, right? But over here, we're talking about a 5-year-old Lina. So obviously, they did not take it well, and they just thought that the doctor, Dr. Gerardo, was incompetent and he had no idea what he was doing. He was a fool. So they thought of going out and seeking to another specialist, which they did. But again, this specialist as well also confirmed that Lina Medina was 7 months into her pregnancy. Now, after which they continued their treatment with Dr. Gerardo in his clinic. Now, what happened at this time was, as soon as Dr. Gerardo concluded that Lina, who was 5 years old, was pregnant, he immediately, like a good dog, he went to the police and he reported this. Now, we all know that, she was underage, so I don't really have to explain as to why he did that. So he went to the police and police immediately took the father into their custody. Now, in such cases where it comes to child molestation, sexual abuse, and when a child, like someone who is underage is pregnant, usually in the suspicion list, it comprises of male family members, and if the kid goes to the school or any kind of daycare, then if there is any male member, then even that person is taken into consideration that he possibly could be the culprit over here. So that's exactly what happened. But after 1 week, the police had no evidence, and because of lack of evidence, they let the father go. Now, after this, it is said that one of Lina Medina's cousin, who was mentally disabled, was took under custody for investigation, but then again, he was let out because of lack of evidence. It is also stated in a lot of articles that Lina Medina's uncles, as in her father's 5 brothers, were also taken under consideration for this crime, but then again, they had no evidence and the police had no clue as to which direction to go to. So it was kind of like a dead point over here. Now, 6 weeks after it was concluded that Lina Medina was pregnant, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy whose name was Gerardo. Yes, the name was after Dr. Gerardo, who really helped Lina during her pregnancy and eventually after that as well. So Gerardo was a healthy baby boy. He was 2.7 kgs and he was really perfect. Like, doctors and various family members during her gestation period time, like in her last few months, they were worried that there is a possibility that the child would not be fully developed or would have some kind of disability. But here we had Gerardo, who was perfect, who weighed perfect, like he was a healthy baby. Now the thing is that she had a cesarean section because obviously she was only 5 years, 7 months and 21 days old. That is the exact age of Lina Medina when she gave birth to her son. So she was 5 years and 7 months and 21 days old, and her pelvis was not that well broad. Like, it was very narrow, it was small, so she couldn't have given birth through a natural process and it would have ended fatally. So that's why they went with C-section over here. And while they were doing this, the doctors realized that all of her secondary sexual organs were completely matured, like they were fully developed. Now, eventually, when this news broke out, obviously there was a huge chaos in the media. Everybody wanted to cover this case. But Lina's parents cared for the children's, as in their daughter and their grandson's privacy, more than the money they were being offered by these media houses so as to, come up front and talk about it. Now, Gerardo, until the age of 10, was told that Lina Medina was his older sister. So they always had that, sibling kind of a relationship, best friends. And later, when he turned 10 years old, he got to know that Lina was actually his mother, as in his biological mother. Now, remember I said that Dr. Gerardo Lozada plays a very important role in Lina's life. The reason is because he knew that Lina came from a place where education was not a priority, and he took this as his priority, as in he made sure that Lina gets her education. He also made sure that Gerardo completes his high school, and eventually for a very long time after Lina completed her education, she even worked in his clinic as a secretary over there. Now, in 1972, when Lina Medina was 39 years old, she married Paul Jurado and she also had another son with him. Now, unfortunately, in 1979, when Gerardo was only 40 years old, he died because of a bone marrow disease. Now, after that, it is said that in 2001, Reuters tried to convince Lina Medina to come up front and give an interview, but then she declined. Like, when she was younger, it was the parents' decision so as to not go out and talk about this to public. Now, it was Lina's decision that she did not really wanted to come up front in front of everyone and talk about this. And we completely respect this. I mean, it's her life, it's her decision, and I completely respect that. I am no one to question it over here. Now, the latest news we got over here was from December 2020 that she is still alive, she's happy, she's living a good life. Now, one of the reasons why it is believed that she never really spoke about this in public or never really comes up front in front of media is because when she was younger, as in when she was pregnant and the news broke out, the Peru government, they promised her some aids, some financial help and things like that, but they never really delivered it. Till date, it's kind of a tug of war, they're going back and forth. They are saying that we're going to give you the aid, we are not going to give you this delay. I mean, it's been more than 80 years and they still haven't delivered the aid they had promised her. So it is pretty obvious to understand that Lina might not be so happy happy with the way things worked out for her. And right now it is said that she is living with her husband and her family in not so well-to-do neighborhood. She is very happy. Now this is what happened with Lina Medina. There are two important questions that literally comes up as soon as we read about this. The first question is that how was it physically, biologically, scientifically possible for Lina Medina to get pregnant, to even conceive this baby? Even if she was, sexually assaulted at this young age, how is it even possible? Well, there are two theories. No, actually there's one theory and the other one is what happened in reality in Lina Medina's case. Now let's talk about the theory first. The theory is that Lina Medina's case is fetus infection. I know, even I heard it for the first time when I was doing my research. Now, fetus infection, if I have to explain it to you in layman's language, then let me just take example of Lina Medina over here. So, hypothetically or supposedly, when Lina Medina's mother, as in Victoria, when she was pregnant with Lina, she had conceived twins. And one of these twins got attached to another twin, for like in this case to Lina. So when Lina got out, there was only one baby, but this other twin, who was kind of like a parasite, was attached inside her body. I'm pretty much sure you might have seen a lot of cases of twins who are attached to each other, like from outside. But in this case, people believe that this twin was somewhere attached inside her body. Now these cases are not only seen in females, but it can be seen in males as well. So yes, if you have this question in your head, no, not always these twins get attached to the womb, because if it's in the males, then there is no womb, so where it is attached, it could be any part of the body, it could be any organ. So the reason why I believe, or why a lot of people believe that this is just a theory in Lina Medina's case, is because if this parasitical twin, let's just call it for a second over here, was attached to Lina Medina's womb, and after she was born, then how come it took 5 years to develop into a fully grown infant, and then eventually she gave birth through C-section? I mean, that's not possible. That certainly does not make sense to me. I mean, I don't know about this topic in depth, but while I was doing my research, it just didn't make sense. If you have any idea about it, then do just tell me in the comment section. Now, another thing to be mentioned is that in most of these cases where a twin is attached internally inside this person, then it is just a mass of muscle. And a lot of people who have these twins attached inside them, they get to know about this much later in life. Like I was reading through an article where a woman who was in her 40s, and all of a sudden she started noticing that her stomach was swollen, and the husband was like, oh my god, how did you get pregnant? And then when she went to the doctor, she had her everything scanned, it was concluded that it was a twin which was attached to her womb while she was in her mom's womb. But then again, like I said, it's most probably a theory. Now, what actually happened is that Lina Medina is also the youngest documented case of precocious puberty. Now, another biological term bomb I've done over here, so I'll explain it to you. Now, what happens over here is that in general, in females, the onset of puberty is seen at roughly around 10 years of age. This is a wide, like worldwide number I'm giving you. In males, it could be seen around 11 or 12 years of age. This is the, period where we can see onset of puberty in males and females respectively. Now, when a person gets puberty at an unusually younger age, like, really young age, then that case is called a precocious puberty, which was in the case of Lina Medina. So there was this doctor, Edmundo Escamel, who did a very intense research on Lina Medina's case and even wrote in La Presse Médicale. Now, according to this doctor, Lina Medina got her menarche. Menarche is the age when a female gets her first menstruation. So according to Dr. Edmundo Escamel, Lina Medina got her menarche when she was only 8 months old, which was in contrast to her previous reports which stated that Lina Medina had gotten her periods when she was 2.5 or 3 years old. So whatever the case is, 8 months or 3 years age, it is an unusual age for a girl to get her periods, and thus she is the youngest documented case of precocious puberty. So now that we have this part of question answer, that how was it physically possible for her to conceive, like I said, that while the doctors were processing cesarean on her, they could make out that all her secondary sexual organs were fully developed. Also, she was having her periods. So yes, it was possible in Lina Medina's case to biologically conceive a baby. The next question comes over here is that who did it? How did she end up being pregnant? That is the biggest question over here. Like, what happened to her? Who did this? Was it a father? A lot of times I've heard people talking about this case as not something that is a crime. But if you ask me over here, I certainly believe that it was a crime. Whatever happened with her, I see it as child abuse, child molestation. Now, some people even believe that this entire case, that Lina Medina being the youngest mother, is hoax. They do not believe this. They believe that it is some kind of propaganda. I don't know what kind of a propaganda it could be. Why would someone do this? But whatever. Now, this case was confirmed by American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. They verified by various x-rays of the fetal skeleton in the utero, also various biopsies and the pictures that were taken by the doctors and medical help. Now, in Lina Medina's case, there are two specific pictures. The first picture, it's of her left profile, where you could see that all her organs, as in her mammary glands, her stomach, was really swollen, and it could be clearly made out that she was indeed very much pregnant. Now, the reason why I won't be showing this picture is because I want to respect her dignity. I want to respect her period that. Now, here we come to the end of the video, and I still have this thing in my mind, and I want to really bring it out again, that, you know, whatever the scenarios might be, whatever reason it could be that, you know, she got pregnant, the thing is that there is a possibility that Lina Medina herself does not know who got her pregnant or in what circumstances she even got pregnant. I mean, she was only 5 years old and probably 4 when she conceived this baby. And at this age, not a lot of people know about coitus, you know. In today's world, a lot of parents teach their kids from a very young age about good touch, bad touch, and relationships and various other things. Now, according to Dr. Edmondo, when Lina was being questioned about these things, she was completely confused. She had no idea what was happening. So it is possible that Lina herself does not know about these things. Now, there is an author, Louis Leon. According to him, in his book on Lina Medina, he wrote that in that area of Peru, they celebrate some kind of festivities. Now, these festivities usually end in orgies and group sex. Now, the thing is that he mentioned in his book that it is not a new thing or something weird to find kids so much as young as, you know, Lina Medina to be involved over here. So very much a possibility that during these festivities, one of the man got to her. Now, again, this is not confirmed and a lot of people look down upon this, but it is just something, a theory that I felt like I should mention over here. Again, I'm saying that I don't know about you, but I feel that whatever varies or whatever the theories over here might have happened in real life with Lina Medina, I still see this as a case of child molestation. Even if she said yes to something, I feel like she was so young, she wouldn't know that what she was saying yes to or what she was consenting to would do to her. So yes, that brings the statutory rape, and statutory rape came much later in our, you know, laws and constitutions. My point here is that she very much was molested, she was sexually abused, and it's okay if she knows the father and she's trying to keep that identity. I respect her decision, but if she doesn't know the father, then I feel so sorry about this entire thing, and I hate using the word father for this man because he was an abuser. Well, this is my opinion, and I hope that you understand this. I would love to know your opinion on this matter, on this case. Now, if you find this video informative, you liked it, then do hit the like button. Also, like I said, do put your suggestions in the comment section, your opinions, your feedback. I'm very talkative. I love talking even in the comment section. And if you haven't still subscribed to my channel, then do subscribe to my channel. Also, share this video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.